Today we will be going over how to resell sneakers on StockX. These are all my tips and tricks from a couple years selling on StockX. Like this video and subscribe for more resale predictions and drop lists and videos like these. So first we're going to be going over how to sell the high volume items on StockX. These are going to be like your top sellers of the day. They have a whole page for this. It's like your Jordan 1s, your Yeezys, all that stuff like that. All the super hyped items of the week. When you are selling a high volume item, kind of like the Jordan 1 Dark Mochas, the first thing you have to do is look at the asks. If there are a bunch of asks at one price, I would probably just set at that price. Like on this one, it'd be $345. As you can see, they're selling around 5 to 6 per hour. So it definitely is a lot of volume with these. And I would either take the bid of $328 on these, or I'd sell for $345 and because those will eventually get hit, and probably you'll make a ton of money on these. So it definitely is good to either go for placing your ask right around the lowest ask or just taking the bid if you do need the money right away. Next up, we're going to be telling you how to sell the low volume items on StockX. These are your items that sell once or twice a day. There are two different strategies to this one, and it really just depends on if you're holding the item for a while or if it's just something that doesn't have that much hype and doesn't sell that often on StockX. So first up, we got the hold method. You're really gonna have to look at the asks and see like how far they are spread out. On this one, I'd probably list it around 270. It really just depends on how much you're like willing to get for these. On these, if you are like willing to hold for like 3 to 6 months after this, I would list it at like 300. But if you're trying to sell pretty quickly, I'd list it like 270 because these would be going like 2 to 3 times a day, or they're like once a day. So prices could fluctuate a lot, and these really just depends on if no one undercuts, because if people undercuts, the price goes down a lot and it can just ruin everyone's day. Either way, you could make a lot of profit using this method, especially if you are holding long term. Next up, this is mostly for like the brands that do have some clout, but they're not like that big. It's like Eric Emanuel Palace, those type of brands. So these are items that like just released, but they are like not really selling that much. Since there isn't like that much demand for these, I would probably either sell to the highest ask or undercut by $1 or $2, or just place at the lowest ask, just because the price on these could fluctuate a lot, especially when people do get their items in. So I would just either sell to the highest bid if that does make you money, but if not, I would just match the highest or the lowest ask, or go like $1 or $2 below. I'm going to be telling you how to sell the no volume items on StockX. These are ones that really only sell 1 to 2 times per month, or even less than that. These are going to be ones that can really make you a lot of profit, because you can kind of control the market, especially if you are the lowest ask and there's like no one even close to you. Like, you can really make a lot more money if you just do control your asks. Here we're going to be showing you the FTP woven belt logo black. The FTP really doesn't have that much volume, so these are like really good items where you can control the market. And I just think FTP is a good brand to buy and resell. I wear a lot of their pieces and I think it's pretty nice. As you can see, there's a lot of price volatility, and like a lot of people are willing to pay like a good amount. There's like a $220 sale there. So what I do, if you do have the large XL one, which doesn't have any bids or like asks, I would just try and place an ask super outlandish and just see if anyone does want to bid on it. So if we can see like maybe someone tries to bid like 150, you could place your ask like 300, 400, because these, if anyone does want them, you're the only ask there, and they're gonna have to pay your price if they do want to buy it, at least on StockX. There might be some on eBay, but StockX is definitely one of the biggest platforms to sell items on. Next up, we're gonna show you why undercutting is probably the worst thing you could do if you are selling sneakers or clothing on StockX. It basically ruins your margins and just cuts out profit for you and other sellers on there. So it just doesn't help anyone except for the buyers. So if you're a buyer, you love undercutting, but if you're a seller, you absolutely hate it. So here are a pair of Nike Sakai's that I actually have. I think these are actually really nice pair of shoes, and people have undercut a ton on these recently. These are going for like 700, 740, as you can see in the picture, but then people start undercutting and price just tanked by over $100, I believe. So basically you just don't want to undercut at all. Like, these guys dropped the price by over $100 in just a couple days. And if you look at the asks, you can see that the bottom 2 guys are undercutting by a lot. The first guy's undercutting by like $45, and the next guy's undercutting by like 50 as well. So if you are one of those guys, definitely put your prices up because you can make a lot of money for yourself and for other people. And if you do need to sell quickly, I would just sell to the bid. You might not make as much money, but if you're not undercutting, you can definitely make a lot more money for you and all the other people on the app, and a lot more people will just have a better opinion of StockX. All right, next up we're going to be talking about fees on StockX. These are kind of one of the biggest reasons a lot of sellers and buyers have been moving to eBay and a lot of these other platforms, just because StockX has some insane fees for both buyers and sellers. So if you're new to StockX, you're gonna have a 9.5 transaction fee along with a 3% PayPal fee to like transfer it to your bank account. Then if you sell 3 items, you'll get a 9% transaction fee. Then if you sell 30 items or $10,000 worth of merchandise, you'll have an 8.5% transaction fee. And if you get to level 4, which is 100 sales or $25,000 of merchandise, you'll have an 8% transaction fee. The 8% transaction fee is very good, but it's not like that much better than even a 9.5%. Like, you'll definitely make a lot more money in the long term, but it's pretty hard to get to. I'm actually on level 3. I've sold a lot of items on StockX, but it's super hard to get to those last couple levels. Either way, StockX is like kind of weird with the fees, and I just think a lot of people will be going to like eBay, especially now that they have the authentication feature and they have super low fees. eBay doesn't have any like actual fees except for the PayPal transaction fee to your bank account or PayPal. Right now we're going to be going over how to ship items on StockX and basically everything you do need to ship items on StockX, and basically the best ways to ship items with the lowest cost for yourself. So since everything through StockX ships with UPS, you can actually get UPS boxes and you flip them inside out and just ship them like that. They'll be blank and you can't really trace it back to you, and they can't really do anything about it. And I just think it's a really good idea because the boxes are free, and it's really only for apparel items like Supreme or any of these other streetwear brands, because when you do get a shoe, you'll likely have a box and you can just tape that up and ship it out like that. You can also get these free address pouches, which kind of just like shows that you're shipping to StockX. It just kind of is free, and you can use these instead of tape to like tape the address or tape the shipping label to the box. So I guess it's a lot cheaper if you're willing to save like a cent per roll of tape. Last but not least, we got the Scotch shipping tape. You guys definitely need to get this. There's a link in the description for these. And these are probably like one of the best items to have. These are gonna be $12 for 6 rolls of tape, and these are gonna last you probably 6 months. I mean, we sell a ton of items and we have had these last since January 4th. So I think these is a really good item to get, and these are just gonna last you for a super long time. So it definitely is a valuable investment. If you guys do want to join my Discord, there is a link in the description. We got a ton of stuff in there. We got slots, we got monitors for Shopify, and we just got a bunch of people that can help you out with anything reselling. And we got a ton of good people in there. It's a great community. I would 100% suggest you joining it.